Growing up in the States, I was always taught about the American dream. So having a big house, having lots of money, going to college. The idea that happiness was based off of your success, your accomplishments, and how much money you made. And growing up in that, that's what I strived after, that's what I wanted.
Go to school. Get a job. Work the 9 to 5. Work, consume, repeat. If you're lucky, you might take 1 week off per year, buy more things, and work some more. Work, consume, repeat. Retire? Maybe. Take a few vacations and die. Oh, the American dream. Phrases like time is money and another day, another dollar, they reflect what we value. They teach us how we are to live. And I'm not saying this is a wrong way of living. However, we often forget this isn't the only way to live. So what does it look like to live differently? Costa Rica, a place known around the world for its beauty. From the high mountains to the beaches, the wildlife, the adventure, and the laid-back spirit that's so evident here. Many of the reasons it's one of the most popular tourist destinations for Americans. However, I think one thing that's often missed is the local culture. Cultural immersion is hard to achieve when someone's idea of international travel is hopping on a cruise ship with a bunch of people from the same country and sightseeing. For a few weeks, I backpacked around the country to find out what I could learn about the culture, the local people, to see what I could learn from them, to find out what they value. I want to introduce you to some of my friends.
My name is Roberto. I'm an architect, a part-time architect, full-time foodie. Yeah, I love to eat. Right now I'm 42 years old. I know I look younger, but that's the way you live in Costa Rica. You're so laid back.
My name is Oscar Delgado. I'm 22 years old and I was born in Costa Rica.
My name is Robin Perkins. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Virginia.
My name is Carson Wilson. I'm 21 and I'm from Las Vegas.
2 Americans and 2 Costa Ricans, or Ticos as they say here. 2 very different cultures. 4 people from different walks of life. Different perspectives, and each was something important to teach us. The first stop of my trip is in San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica. Roberto is a local here. He let me stay at his house for a few days and took me around his city.
Hi, what's up? Welcome to Costa Rica.
He's an architect and has a lot of experience working with Americans. He was also kind enough to give me some insight on Costa Rican culture.
We are in a very good nation right now. It's a very laid-back nation. The people are so friendly, and it's different when you grow up in other countries. The elders start teaching you to not trust anyone, but here is different. They teach you to trust the people and to invite them to home, invite them to have coffee in your house. The people saying "PURA VIDA." That translates in English like pure life. That becomes like a motto and your way of life. We have a very, very high sense of friendship. So we were talking earlier that like Americans come to Costa Rica, they feel this hospitality and then friendship, all these different cultures and societies and languages and styles of getting together. If you've traveled all around Costa Rica, you will find people all over the world living like one. I think we have about 1 million American tourists a year. We know that Americans bring some dollars and they want to invest here and then want to do business or stuff. So we learn English from very young ages. So in every place you go in Costa Rica, you're going to find someone to speak English. But it's different because Americans come here and then they don't learn Spanish to come here.
Do you think Americans respect the local culture well or no?
Okay, this is a very good question because if you ask me, I don't respect Americans when they are in a collective. The big groups, they are like, I don't know, it's different. They don't behave well. They are kind of, I don't know, alienated maybe. They don't respect our ways. They think the Tico way, the Pura Vida way is so slow and laid back that we are like lazy. But no, we have different timing for our stuff. If you talk Americans like we are talking about one-on-one, when you get to know the individuals, you know they're very special persons.
Costa Rica is often described as a collectivistic culture. Simply put, this just means that a culture values group priority over individual priority. This is very different than America, which is more of an individualistic culture. Neither of these cultural styles are right or wrong in and of themselves. They're just different, and there's actually much to learn from both. But it's often hard for Americans from an individualistic culture to adjust to the laid-back Pura Vida lifestyle where time is relative and everything seems to move a little slower. I made my way to the coast, to a beach town called Jaco, where I met Carson Wilson. He's an exchange student from Las Vegas and has a lot of insight on what it's like to adjust to the lifestyle here as an American.
So I'm here because of a study abroad program. It's called USAC. So I'm in a year-long program. I would say like the biggest thing is that the culture in the United States is very, I need this now, like fast-paced and like high stress. I think here it's more laid back. I was like, I need to get somewhere really fast, kind of enjoying the moment that you're kind of in. And if you're late for some kind of function, it's okay because you're probably late because you're with family or you were with friends.
So how's adjusting to that been?
It was just hard to adjust because this is like the first time I've ever left the country. And I mean, there's like a little things here now that I was like, oh, that's kind of weird that wasn't in the United States. And it raining a lot more than it does in Las Vegas ever. I feel like a lot of American tourists are just very disrespectful overall because they are here for like a short period of time, so they kind of think that they can do whatever they want and they can write off certain things about this culture. They could just be like, oh, whatever. I mean, obviously, I think there's a lot of people who are like culturally sensitive and they care. They did their research before coming here, but I also think there's a group of people that came that they're all here for like the party culture, which exists in some areas of Costa Rica, but it's not like what Costa Rica is.
Carson makes a good point. Many come here just to see the beauty of the landscapes and have fun, which isn't wrong at all. But often the way we Americans are taught to travel is very influenced by consumerism. I mean, after all, vacationing is consumerism. Play, consume, repeat. The mindset that different cultures are wrong or inferior simply because they are different from one's own is called ethnocentrism. And this is a very dangerous mindset to have. It isn't open to change or new ways of living. It's the my way or highway idea, and we see it all over the place. Often people don't even realize they have this mindset, as it typically creeps in over time from lack of cultural influence different from one's own. Along this journey of exploring Costa Rican culture, I met a friend named Oscar at a hostel in the town of Avita. He's a local here, but he's traveled all over the world. He and I sat down for a bit to talk about the Pura Vida life and to get an insider's perspective of the country.
From an insider's perspective, what I have seen is the way the form of development in the country has turned from having a lot more locals owning businesses to having to outsource to, foreign capital. Our economy is highly depending on tourism. That's like their golden eggs. Most of the weights of tourism come from North America, with, people from Canada, people from the United States. The world has a vision of Costa Rica completely different from what it is at an internal level. Usually, we claim as the happiest people on earth, and I think that is right and that is wrong at the same time. I think that for every Costa Rican, what's the priority at the moment is to be change and be an example every day and to help each other out. So that's what everyone should do, and that's what I think that every Costa Rican should do. Pura Vida is more of a lifestyle, more than a word, And you can see it along the streets. Everyone talks. They come to you. They use Pura Vida as, waving at you, as a greeting, as a goodbye. You see it on the menus. You see it on T-shirts. It's respect. It's appreciation for nature. It's an easy lifestyle where there's no judgments.
Pura Vida. You hear and see it everywhere.
Pura Vida. Pura Vida. Pura Vida, man.
Costa Rican chronemics, or their approach to time, is a cultural norm. Taking things slowly and living moment by moment is a societal value, not just a personal preference, which is the exact opposite from the American approach to time, which values speed and efficiency. Along this journey, I ran into a friend from college named Robin, who recently moved here from Virginia.
I am here to learn more about life, experiencing life outside of the US. For that year, I'm going to be teaching kindergarten at a private bilingual school in Uvita, Costa Rica. Me coming to Costa Rica was a complete life change. I changed careers. I went to a country I'd never been before. So I would say the biggest difference between Costa Rica culture and culture in the States is priorities. Growing up in the States, I was always taught about the American dream. So having a big house, having lots of money, going to college, and really just the idea that happiness was based off of your success, your accomplishments, and how much money you made. And growing up in that, that's what I strived after, that's what I wanted. But it didn't take me long to learn that doesn't bring happiness. And I feel that's what a lot of Americans learn at some point in their life. I'm grateful that I learned it early. But coming to Costa Rica, you'll find that money and the accomplishment, that's not the priority. Family is a big one. Community. And you can tell that with the community. You come here, you'll see people helping each other who don't even know each other, talking to people as you pass by on the street, and it's not weird, it's not abnormal. It's comforting. Versus in the States, you might be scared to say hi to someone down the street walking past them because you don't know the reaction you're gonna get. Okay, something you'll hear in Costa Rica here is Pura Vida, which is pure life. And it kind of sinks into everything I've noticed in the sense of timing. People aren't in a rush. People take time to live life. In the States, you'll find people are in a rush to go nowhere. It's not so fast-paced, go, go, go. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to enjoy life more. So I think some tourists, depending on who you are that come from America, are very used to getting things fast. I know something I grew up with was if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late, right? In Costa Rica, that doesn't apply. If you're 15 minutes early to something, you're gonna be waiting for a long time for people to actually get there. Here, you have to wait. Be okay with people being late. You have to be okay with not getting things done when you want them done. In America, it's more individualistic. We know that community is important and relationships are important, but I feel we're also really scared. We can put on this mask and we can be afraid to open ourselves up to people. Therefore, it's harder to make those relationships.
So what does this mean for you and I? We products of an individualized Western society. How should this affect the way that we explore and interact with the world and all its different cultures? Why does all this even matter?
You need to explore life outside of what you're used to. As humans, naturally, we want to know everything, right? So if you go to a country, you don't speak the language, you're walking around like a baby, you have to learn, you have to fail, you're gonna mess up on speaking, and you have to be okay with that.
Go out there, create your own perception of reality. Don't just base yourself on some fallacy that is created in order to control the population, and see the world for yourself.
There's a difference very, very big from Costa Rica to the States. I think in language, in culture and stuff. But if you don't go to another country and know another culture, you're never going to appreciate what you have in your house, because you think that the things that you have are for granted. But if you know other cultures in the world, you open your mind, your horizon in your mind gets bigger. That's what you need to understand the life of human beings in the earth. You have to know what is the essential part of living in this earth. Love, family and friends. I don't know, what do you believe, but the only thing that you're going to have in the next life is your family, friends, and the people you encounter.
This isn't just some ploy to inspire you to drop everything and travel the world. I mean, I genuinely hope you will. Maybe you'll take a semester to study abroad, or plan your 30th wedding anniversary overseas, and that somehow this inspired you to do so. Because I think cultural immersion is important. But the reality is that plane tickets can be expensive, and not everyone is 22 with few things tying them down in life. But what does your life look like within your own community? How would our society be different if instead of work, consume, repeat, we strive to listen, learn, explore? Whether you're American or Costa Rican, Republican or Democrat, individualist or collectivist, ethnocentrism is dangerous, and my question is the same. What opinions do you have about people whom you've never broken bread with? Are you trying to understand and learn from people of a different culture than you? Are you challenging the ethnocentric mind?
This is easily one of the coolest places I've ever been in my life.
I've never been so proud of myself for ordering a smoothie.
Really wish I spoke fluent Spanish. Getting better. It's not good, but it's better.